My name is Amanda Jones, and I chose the company Vineyard Vines. I chose Vineyard Vines because I'm a huge fan of their products. As you can see on my back wall, I own many sweatshirts, and I'm wearing one of their shirts. Vineyard Vines had a very big social media footprint already, and that intrigued me because they only have about 40 stores. So I was interested to see how a small retailer like Vineyard Vine with a small target market uses social media. My purpose in analyzing the company Vineyard Vines was to see the company's strengths on their social media outlets, and also to recommend actions to further increase their brand awareness and engagement of the Vineyard Vines brand or experience. While researching Vineyard Vines, I found out a really interesting thing that they did that I had no clue before, even being a huge fan like I am. Vineyard Vines is heavily involved in giving back to the community, which I had no idea. I guess I just missed it on social media, or I wasn't really a part of social media. I didn't really follow this company. So going into their social media accounts and really looking at what they do for the community, really, it shows how this company is so about the good life and just they're real people. And one interesting thing I found, like a campaign that they did was really cool, is they did a whale for a cause. And so they uploaded a link where you could download a whale like this, and it was like blank, and you got to color it any way you wanted to, and then you would take a picture of it, and then you'd upload it to social media, and you'd hashtag whale for a cause, and then every whale picture that they received with that hashtag, they would donate a meal to, World Hunger or Children in Need. So they worked with a bunch of charities where they needed, food, and then they would donate a meal for every whale. They said that they had about 5,000 whale pics. So the campaign was really successful, and 5,000 meals were distributed. So I thought that was really neat how a company like a small retailer like Vineyard Vines can give back to the community. Another thing that was really interesting that Vineyard Vines did was that they have this overall theme, and it's on their website too. And it's this motto: "Every day should feel this good." And it goes back to the history of the company when the two owners dropped their 9-to-5 job and they went out and they did something that they loved to do, and which was selling neckties to people, that were in that 9-to-5 job that they didn't want to be a part of anymore. And so they kind of followed their dreams and they took a huge risk. And so that's where that motto comes from. And every time you purchase an item from Vineyard Vines, it's like, every day should feel this good. And you're supposed to show that while you wear the brand. And so I just noticed this, but the sticker I got when I received one of these sweatshirts actually has a hashtag, and it's EDSFTG, which is like a really long hashtag. I don't know if you can see it, but it's really long. And on the back of the sticker, it says, "Thanks for your support. Now show us how you live the everyday should feel this good lifestyle on Instagram and Twitter." So they're actually wanting you to promote their brand on Instagram and Twitter and show like how you live every day and make it feel good. So I thought that was really neat that they had that overall theme. It's on all their social media accounts. Another thing I thought that was neat that Vineyard Vines did was they use a SUV, and they call it Whale Force One, and it travels the world, or the United States, not the world, but the United States, and it goes to different places. You never know where it's going to show up, but it could come to Xavier's campus one day and be out in the parking lot, and they actually hand you like a whale hat, like whale stickers, t-shirts, just any kind of merchandise they have, they'll like hand it to you with coupons, which I think is a really cool like word of mouth way to like, I don't know, like spread your message. And so that's something really like different that they do, and they promote it mostly on Twitter. I noticed they don't really post it on Instagram and Facebook. It's more on Twitter, and people are super engaged. They're wondering where it's going to end up next, and I think it's just a really neat concept, something that their competitors would never do, and it gets their brand out there. Even if you didn't know Vineyard Vines, like here's this like really colorful truck with like all these like bumper stickers on it, and they're handing you a free T-shirt or a free hat. So why not like wear that around or put a sticker on your backpack or laptop or something like that. So I think that's a really neat concept. my first recommendation for Vineyard Vines would be to research a YouTuber, maybe with a strong following, and or they could be like a medium following since it's it is a small retailer. But I think they could utilize their YouTube a little more, and they're starting to right now. But I think adding that YouTuber will actually help them. The campaign that they have going on right now on YouTube, they only have like 4 videos, and so the campaign is Real Good People, Real Good Life. So they choose like people in a country, and they kind of like tell their story. How the Murray brothers started Vineyard Vines. There's a huge story behind it, and they basically dropped their 9-to-5 job, that stability, and went and moved into a riskier entrepreneurial job. And so they kind of like find people like that open up these amazing shops, and they don't really like know about it. Like the consumers don't really know about these shops or restaurants or anything. And so they're starting to videotape those stories, and they're really short, and they're actually really interesting. And so I think adding a YouTuber would add more videos, or like a different series of videos, maybe for a different generation or something like that. But I know a lot of companies are moving towards that. They're actually paying YouTubers to be their brand spokesperson. And so I think Vineyard Vines would really increase their brand awareness, because everybody's like loving videos right now, and it's something that you can put on Instagram really fast. And right now they're in the Kentucky Derby season, so they're promoting really hard for their Kentucky Derby collection coming out. And they actually have special hashtag VV Derby 16. And so I think it'd be really cool if they had a YouTuber to follow up with their blog post, which one of their blog posts is how to make a really great mint julep. And so why not follow that up with a video of a YouTuber making a mint julep wearing like one of these sweatshirts or something. And I think that would be a really neat concept to do. I also think it would be really neat if they could like do like tips and tricks on etiquette during the Derby. If you've never been to the Derby, like what do you wear, or something like that. I think that would be really neat, and it would really like go towards that millennial generation that they're trying to hit. Another recommendation I have is involving another video, just because they are so popular. It would be like Whale Force One, like I discussed earlier, and I would want to partner with like GoPro or someone, and follow the SUV around, and kind of like do sneak peeks of where they're going next or something like that. They could do like a little video of like the road or something, and see if people could guess where they're going, and stuff like that. So I think that would be a really cool campaign to run, and really like get people more engaged, because I know they're already engaged on Twitter, and they're always asking where Whale Force One is, and when are they going to get like those free products or free stickers or something like that. So having that GoPro attached to the car, or just like with the team in general when they do their activities, wearing the Vineyard Vines clothes, I think that would also increase their brand awareness. Doing the social media audit report really showed me how great Vineyard Vines social media is. I am a big fan, but maybe just because I'm not really a huge social media person, I don't really like follow Vineyard Vines on social media, but I have learned that I probably should, because they engage with their customers very much. And, if I ever have a problem with a piece of clothing, I know they're like super polite and responsive after researching the comments that they like respond back to. And so I think it just gave me a new insight on this brand that I already loved, and now I love more, because I looked into their social media a lot. And not only like did I fall in love with the brand that I was already in love with, I also learned like different campaigns you can put on social media, and when to use Twitter, when to use Instagram, when to use Facebook. Vineyard Vines does a good job at like separating these. So Twitter's more like a dialogue, so they're talking to the customer still, but there's not as many pictures. Instagram's all pictures, and they're just like of consumers. So consumers hashtag themselves, or like they hashtag like Vineyard Vines, like the VV Derby 16, and actually like Vineyard Vines takes those and like puts them like on their Instagram, so like all the 700 something thousand followers see that picture. And I think that's really cool. So why not hashtag your picture when you're wearing one of these sweatshirts or t-shirts? And so I think that was a really neat concept that they do, is when they separate those social media accounts. And even with their YouTube, they're trying to go down a different path with the real good people, real good life thing. And so I think that's really neat to witness their social media. Their Facebook account as well is more like the corporate marketing, like that general, like, oh, like the holidays and the events they're hosting, the charitable functions, the sales or promotions, the store openings. So it's more like corporate. But when you get to Instagram and Twitter, like the back of this sticker said, they want you to share this like photo of you wearing this and then having this hashtag at the bottom of it. And, they even say, share your lifestyle on Instagram and Twitter, but they don't say Facebook. So I thought that was interesting when I was going through the social media audit, how they separate the three biggest social media outlets, which are Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for Vineyard Vines. Pinterest is sort of big, but it's not. It has room for improvement, I guess. But overall, just learning how to post to different social media outlets was one of my big takeaways from this audit. And I learned that Vineyard Vines was an even better brand than I already thought it was. So